Today we're creating an author profile for one of my clients, Mary Gleason. This is on Goodreads, and so I'm filling in the blanks. Entered her name, included her username, make it simple, use your real name, and then filling in all of the details that you have that you want to share with people. So it's asking for your zip code. It wants to know your website, and we're putting in marygleasonconsulting.com. Then putting in who can see it. Make sure you've spelled everything right because I have been known to transpose things. You want to include your areas of interest. So that would be the types of books that you are interested in. It's also more than likely the types of books that your community is interested in. And it's useful to include the details because, again, think keywords, categories, and search engine optimization. You also want to decide about the types of books that are important to you and include that information. Now, when we get down to the About Me section, I simply went over to Mary's website, and what I did was I went to her About page. I copied and pasted her short bio. And of course, I have to prove I'm a real person. So you're going to see it has I'm not a robot in here, but I'm just checking over everything. And oh my gosh, Mary has a very cute headshot on her website. What I did is I captured that, and then I was able to upload the file. So I'm adding the photo. Oh, yep, got a little error message. It wants me to be sure I'm actually choosing a file, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm going over to the folder where I have her photo. Okay, now I am uploading her photo. So you choose the file, hit upload, and then it will pop into view. Oh, not quite yet. There we go. And so you can see her image is up there. It matches the photo that is on her website, which is a good thing because for branding and consistency, you want to be using the same imagery across all of your social media brands. And it was just asking me if I wanted to be sure I was doing that. I didn't like the first photo that I had, so I'm picking a different one. Now I'm just going through and making sure all of the details are filled in. I'm verifying that I'm a real live person, and it asks me to complete the image match, which is so boring. We will just zip on by that. And now I'm saving that information. Now, almost all of these tabs are going to have that button on the bottom of the page where it asks if you want to save. Be sure you save your work. You'll be happier at the end of the process. So now that we've done that, we're going to skip on over and we're looking at the email settings. And here you can decide what email notification you want to receive, what will trigger you receiving that email from Goodreads, and how frequently. Everything from never, once a day, as a digest. All of these choices are, you can turn them on or off. So it's up to you how much chatter you want to get from Goodreads. But look through here, customize it, make it your own, make decisions. But of course, you can go back in at any time and update your choices. You also can decide about notifications when you make comments or when people comment on your books and choices. Conversations are taking place in Goodreads. And there are also ways that you can get notified newsletters. Many authors send out a newsletter. Goodreads sends out a newsletter. Pick and choose what is important to you and what you want to know. If you start off and you're getting way too much email, go back in, turn off, toggle those off, uncheck them, and you'll get more familiar with what works for you or not. And again, here's the save email settings. It's going to ask you again to verify you are a real life person, and be sure you do that, and then hit the save when you've customized the settings to be what you want them to be so that they are working for you. So as we continue to go through the tabs, this is on the feed update settings, kind of redundant from where we were before, but this is another snapshot of where you can go in and choose what you want to trigger sending you notification. So again, you're going to prove you're a real life person and match the pictures. Then be sure to hit the save the feed setting button. As before, you can go back in and change that. And of course, you're going to get confirmation at the top. It also allows you to connect different social media apps. And you will need to then choose, hit the button, say for Facebook, and then fill in your information. So you just close and choose what apps you want to link to Goodreads, if there are any that you want to connect. It's up to you. Now we're on the widgets tab, and this is great. You have lots of choices on the widgets page. There's different flavors depending on where you want to put the widget. And what a widget is going to do is pull information from Goodreads and place it either in your email. This is for the email signatures, the first one. You can also capture a widget that will appear on your website or other pages, say a landing page, and you can decide if you want to show what you're reading, what you intend to read, books you've read, just more engagement for you with the widgets. And what each of these widgets is doing is generating code that you're going to be able to copy and paste into the appropriate place. Here I'm copying the code that would do the signature. I can make some small customizations. There's also a Goodreads update widget. So again, pick and choose what fits for you, and then copy and paste the code. You can put it right where it goes, or if you don't know how to do it, just copy the code into, say, a Word file or a text file, give it to your programmer, and tell your programmer what the widget does and where you would like it placed. Some of the customizations include changing whether you want a clear background or a colored background behind the widget. You can change the color of the text if you put in hex code. If you love quotes, you may want to gather some so that you can use that widget, which is very, very fun. And now we've moved on to looking at your, well, where people could link to purchase a book. Now, this isn't just your book that we're talking about. This is all the books that you are reading and recommending and want to read. And it starts off with a default list. These are some of the most popular. And I'm going to suggest that you move the indie bound link up. And you see the two little arrows. There's an up arrow and a down arrow. So the little triangles at the side. And you have to manually do it one at a time until you get it to where you want to go. I'm going to move it up towards the top of the list, and you can rearrange. You can take outlets off if they're not ones that you like, and you can add additional links. And on the right side of the screen, after we get the indie bound up there, you'll be able to choose from some of these other ones. There are so many different outlets where you want to direct people to purchase books, including or purchase or have access to books like libraries, Library of Congress. There may be a regional or a local bookstore that you want to link to, and Mary's in the Northeast, so Powell's Books is a good choice. It's like the premier bookstore in the Seattle area. And again, customize this to your heart's content. The next tab is purchase history. And again, you can include this or not include it, and then just check out what your choices are. And now we can look at Mary's profile, and you can see her picture. There's a short bio. There's a link to her website. Her book is showing up here, and you want to be seen. You also want to be sure that you are commenting and posting reviews of other people's work. This is your start. Your author profile is your start on Goodreads. It's a way for you to connect with people, for them to get to know you. You can add more information as you go along. Be a good citizen. Post reviews of the books that you read. Include the books that you want to read on your want to read bookshelf, and let people get to know you. Remember, this is free search engine optimization information. It's a way for you to connect with your audience, and it is a brilliant place to find readers and your community in the world of publishing. This is Judy Baker, Book Marketing Mentor, your guide to getting more bang for your book. You can find me at bookmarketingmentor.com.